Hello and welcome to my first Blender tutorial. That's starting to sound funny now because this is my 7th or 8th take at this, and hopefully this will be the last one. I'm having a lot of troubles, but anyway, talk about that later. This is Blender version 2.59, as you can see here, but it's a different version of Blender 2.59. This version's got a whole lot of add-ons and stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I've just installed it. Well, actually, it was a long time ago now. I've been recording for hours. Yeah, so I'll put a link to in the description for where you can download this. So first thing you've got to do is enable the add-ons, as you do. So you just click on disable here, and then you can just click them. Just makes it easier to enable them. As you'll notice, some of them don't enable properly, so I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's just my computer, and some of them also need other add-ons to work, so just keep clicking here. I've had a lot of problems with the recording things and running out of memory and stuff like that. That's why this is my 7th or 8th take at this. And actually my last take did actually work, but I was using the speakers in my laptop, which whenever I pressed a button you couldn't hear me talking, so yeah. Now I'm using a Guitar Hero microphone stuffed down my shirt, basically. So yeah, just enable all these. Go back through. As you'll see, these are the 3 that I have glitched. I don't know if they glitch on whatever you're using. Yeah, that adds even more stuff. Just don't know why, but it just takes a while to load, probably because I just clicked them so fast. Yeah. Okay, so now since I'm on a laptop, I have to go to input and enable numpad emulator. So that makes the number pad, which is on the side of your keyboard, go to the top buttons, the top number buttons on the keyboard. So very handy. Well, the way I minimized and made this maximize this window or whatever, oops. Yeah, is by pressing Control up or down. It doesn't really matter which one you press. Yeah, okay. We'll just enable this thing. I've forgotten most of the other times. All the other takes. Oh, there it is. Start display. As you can see, there's a whole lot of new options in this little bar thingy if you've used Blender before. Oh, I also forgot to mention this is going to be a tutorial on the basics of the game engine from scratch, basically. So it's just going to be a cube that drops with a shadow. So, don't know how loud that would have been just then. I've got the microphone resting on my throat because that's the best place I found to put it. So now whenever I press the button, it will tell you what button I've pressed in the 3 window. So just recenter this. I hate that 5 button. Orographic view or whatever it is. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've taught myself basically everything about Blender. So I only got internet a while ago, the beginning of this year, which I've just been basically watching movies on. So just before I do any more on that, if you click on this little grippy thingy here and drag it up, it will merge the windows together like that. So just do it like that and pull these ones. Whoops. Also clicking in the gap between them scales them. So if I just drag that across to here, and yeah, and makes it look a lot less cluttered. And if we press T and N, it gets those 2 windows away. T for tool pad, tool shelf, and N for whatever the stuff is. I don't actually know what it's called. Okay, I just delete that stuff. Don't really need it. Just center the view. Okay, and I just add as you can see, there's a whole lot of new stuff here. Just add a cube, so that's basically my default cube. You can also add it from up here. So, yeah. You'll notice that this thing looks different, how it's got all that stuff. That's because these things down here, that's move, location, rotation, and scale. And if you hold shift, you can select more than one of them. and this thing makes them completely disappear altogether. So, hope this is actually still recording because I pressed a button and I don't know what it did. Yeah, so I'll just change it like that for the default thing. And if you go up here and change this to the user preferences, there's probably a shortcut key to do this, but I don't know it. Don't really care, it doesn't really bother me that much. Just drag that up. You'll see it has save as default, and so if you make it so it's like this, so your basic Blender setup thing, and well, my basic one anyway, I think it's actually different, I've just gotten used to seeing it like this, and you click that. When you next open up Blender, this is exactly what it will look like when you open it up. So it's just the default save file. So try not to make any mistakes that you don't know how to fix, otherwise you'll have to reinstall Blender. Or there's probably some other way to fix it, I don't know. Never made a mistake yet, or haven't yet anyway. So yeah, okay, then you gotta add mesh a plane, size that by about 10 by pressing S, as you see there. You can either drag it like that or just type in 10. 1, 0. Okay, now just select that cube, drag it up, press Control to snap to grid, however high you want it, doesn't really matter. So, yeah. Now rotate it a bit, and rotate it this way, just so it drops on a bit of an angle, and just add a little more character to it. So now I gotta go this thing, change it from Blender Render to Blender Game Engine. There's renders for all the render settings, game engines for all the game settings. It just takes away all the render stuff, that rendering things that don't affect the game engine. I click on this little window over here, as I did before I dragged this out, which it just, some of these icons are hidden, don't know why they do that, but it's just a default Blender thing. Now change this from static to rigid body with the cube selected. So that'll give the cube a rigid body, so just, yeah. Now add a collision box, a collision bounds as a box, and yeah, because that'll make it as a box in the game engine, so it'll affect stuff as if it's a box, as it is. So if I could press play now, P to play the game engine, activate the game engine or whatever you want us to call it, I'll say it, yeah. But I can't really do that now. I can if I want, but there won't be any light, so let's just add a light. The spotlight's good for shadows, so yeah. As you'll notice, this thing actually has speakers, which is a 2.60 update feature, so maybe this is like the pre-release sort of thing of it or something, I don't know what this is. So just rotate that a bit so you can see it at a bit of an angle. Also, if you click on the light thing and light settings or object data for the light, you can go show cone, which will show a cone of light where the light affects. So it makes it easier for aiming the light. Now if you go to change this to textured, press N to get this thingy back up again, and look for, what was display? Yeah, display. A whole lot of new stuff here that's, I don't know what it does. I haven't gone through the stuff yet, as I think I said. Change this to GLSL for the rendering or shading or whatever you want to call it, and turn on textured solids. I don't actually know what that does, but stuff goes wrong when I don't use it, so I just always have it on by default basically. But as you can see now, there's a shadow, and yeah, if I play the game engine, it'll fall, the little bumpy thingy has a shadow. But the shadow's a bit glitchy for some reason. I don't know if it's just this version of Blender or some mistake I've done. Might just be the angle of the light or something. Or maybe if I give the plane collision bounds of a box, it's a little less glitchy if it's a box. And that's basically the best thing for it anyway. So I don't know what that is. But that's basically the tutorial. This is my first Blender tutorial for today and tonight and all the hours I've been working on this to get this working. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Put any comments in the, or questions or requests for any other tutorials in the comments thing, and yeah, next tutorial I'll be showing you how to move the cube around with the whatever keys you use for moving stuff around, whether it's the arrow keys or WASD or anything else. Okay, I hope you like the tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe. Oops.